entire nation is riveted by the story of 3 American women making their break for freedom and 3 American families with answered prayers. These are the faces of Amanda Berry and Gina DeJesus, abducted as teens. A third, Michelle Knight, vanished at the age of 20, and now all 3 have been found alive after life inside this home. A flag on the porch, a crime scene inside. And on the right, there is the front door, that dark space where a stranger heard a cry for help and refused to turn away. Tonight, we have new details about the women, the 3 brothers under arrest, and the heroes of this rescue as breaking free the escape in Cleveland begins. And ABC's David Muir is there. David.
Diane, good evening. We are learning exclusive new details about the dynamic inside that home among the women. We know 2 of them have left the hospital tonight, including Amanda Berry and her little girl. You can see the balloons here in the house waiting to welcome them home. And about that little girl, she's missing 2 front teeth, one on the top, one on the bottom. We've also learned that her mother was quietly homeschooling her inside that house. Tonight, the balloons and flowers growing, a homecoming waiting for Amanda Berry. Seen here in the middle with a smile, while in the hospital overnight, her sister Beth on the left. And today we learn that little girl to her right, her daughter, Jocelyn, just 6 years old. Late today in an exclusive one-on-one with Cleveland's Deputy Chief Ed Tomba, he told us Jocelyn is doing well.
She looks great, happy, healthy. She was eating a popsicle last night.
The little girl?
Yeah. I mean, she looked good to me.
The country's wondering, where she gave birth to that little girl.
Right. That question is, we're wondering about that also. We can only, like I said, speculate, but we're hoping that Amanda and Michelle and Gina provide us that information.
Her daughter was born while Amanda was held captive. Police won't say who the father is, though the deputy chief tells us he suspects it is one of the men who've been arrested. The image comes after 10 years of those other photos, of Amanda, of Gina DeJesus, of Michelle Knight, all held against their will as their families, the community, carried on just outside their front door. Until that moment, just 24 hours ago, the first time we heard Amanda Berry's voice in a decade.
Hello, please. Help me, I'm Amanda Berry.
You need police, fire, or ambulance?
I need police.
Okay, and what's going on there?
I've been kidnapped and I've been missing for 10 years and I'm here, I'm free now.
There was a neighbor, Charles Ramsey, who heard screams from inside the house. Amanda Berry, now 27, pounding on the door to escape.
We had to kick open the bottom. Luckily on that door was aluminum, it was cheap. And she climbed out with her daughter.
ABC News has learned she ran to neighbors across the street, grabbing their cordless phone. And you can hear her fear that the man will return.
We're going to send them as soon as we get a car open.
No, I need them now before he gets back.
And when police arrive, the 2 other women inside coming out, unraveling a horror that began in August of 2002. Michelle Knight, just 20, vanishing, last seen at a cousin's house. And then April next year, 2003, in the same neighborhood, Amanda Berry, 16, disappearing the day before her birthday. A year later, April 2004, Gina DeJesus, just 14 years old, disappears while walking home from middle school. ABC News has learned authorities now suspect the 3 women spent a lot of time tied up in Castro's home until Amanda broke free and took her chance. On the porch waiting for her, Amanda Berry's family, and they tell me they're now waiting for her little girl, too.
Did you ever think this day would come? Yes.
You did?
Yes.
You never gave up hope?
No. Never.
Her cousin Destiny with tears and with the card that's waiting.
Do you remember the last time you saw her?
Tonight, authorities tell us they plan to begin questioning the 3 suspects arrested tomorrow. 52-year-old Ariel Castro, who owns the house. His brothers Pedro, 54, O'Neill, 50. And this evening, police have no evidence that any neighbors, any bystanders ever called about that house on Seymour Avenue. An entire community focused on that one house tonight, but when you walk down Seymour Avenue here, you get one question from everyone, which is how so many years could have gone by without any sight of those young women at all. You can see how close the houses are together, and yet no one ever saw them. Authorities told us late today they plan to ask the victims if they were kept separately. The house has 4 bedrooms, the basement 760 square feet. And tonight, new insight into what it was like to live inside that house. The FBI telling us those women formed a bond.
You've been in the room
the hospital rooms with these young women?
Yes.
You've seen the bond yourself.
Yes, I saw it last night. It was apparent these ladies have been through a lot, and they were there for one another. You could see the way they looked over at each other and were concerned of where the other one was.
They were asking about each other.
Yeah, they were.
In fact, that relationship's so strong, the FBI telling me that each of the women were asking to check in on the others in their respective rooms. And in fact, it was Gina DeJesus, not the mom of that little girl, who pulled out the artwork first to show the FBI, to show all the officers who'd gathered there, Diane, proud of that little girl too. They have created a family while trapped inside that home for so many years.
So much courage amid so much fear. Thank you so much, David Muir.